issuance of the order of eviction. This judgment was entered back in April, and it's been more than 56 days since entry of the judgment. Therefore, we filed a motion for its issuance. My understanding, Your Honor, is that $577 was received towards the judgment amount. That is all. And at present, there's a balance due of $4,845.75. Therefore, we would request entry of the order of eviction, allowing plaintiff to recover possession of its property.
Ms. Knowlton, what do you have to say?
Well, I've been working on getting help with the payment. I have one organization going to help with $3,000, and I'm trying to get the other $1,800. I did an SCR 2 days ago, and I'm waiting on that decision. I've been working on trying to get loans to get the rest of it fixed. You know, I'm having a hard time talking today because my face is swelled up. I don't know if you see that, but I woke up like that this morning. But yeah, I've been trying because every time I do an SCR, then I get to where, you know, I get someone to help. By the time they decide to help, then the SCR, I got to redo that all over again each time. But my husband walked out on us back in December, which left me with no money other than whatever possessions he had to sell to where I could get to where I am now. But I can't even get child support or divorce, anything. I mean, I'm living off a Social Security check and my 2 little paychecks and raising 3 kids. I mean, this is my family home. I've been here 15 years. I mean, I do not want to lose my home because I'm trying to do the best I can. I mean, I've been through having anxiety issues, depression issues, all because of this. I mean,
Okay, ma'am, let me ask you a question. You said there was somebody was helping you with $3,000?
yes, an organization called SOS. The lady, she agreed if I can get the other, because I thought it was $1 or $4,895 I had to pay, but apparently I was off by $50, I guess. I mean, and she agreed she can pay that if I can get the rest of it.
Ma'am, let me ask you this. When did you have your meeting with SOS?
I've actually had 2 of them in the last month and a half. I just talked to her last week on the phone. I mean, I'm trying my best. I just got back to work.
All right. So, ma'am, here's the problem. The problem is the funding's not there.
I understand that. I'm working on it. I just got a letter or thing earlier, but I didn't have time to check it from SCR and what I need to give them to see how much they're going to pay. I mean, I am working on it my hardest. I mean, I've tried calling loan people, trying to get an FHA, you know, against my house. Nobody will give me one because I don't have any credit.
Okay. Ma'am, I just had to tell you, regrettably, the 3,000, here's the reality of the circumstances regarding this. Even if you came up with that other balance, the 3,000's not there.
I know that. It's going to be there as soon as the other amount, I get the other amount. Because she done told me she's going to pay it. And then I texted her because Zoe up front told me I had till the end of this month to get all the money together. So when I talked to her, then I started calling people even more. I've been on my phone every free moment I've had. Like right now, I should be at work, but my face is swollen where I can't even hardly talk. It hurts to talk.
Your Honor, I'm unaware of any agreement to grant until the end of the month, but if Your Honor wants to pass on this matter briefly, I'll verify with my client if they're willing to give her until then to try and come up with the various funds to bring the account current. I don't have the authority to approve that without clarifying with them.
All right. Ms. Knowlton, let me pass it and I'll let counsel check on that, what you just said, and then I'll call your case back up.
Yeah, because I talked to Jacob this morning and I explained it to him. I mean, I'm trying. I'm disabled. I can't do too much.
Okay. Let her give a call.
Yeah, my husband was helping me with the rent until December. Then he just walked out and left us. I mean, what can I do? I can't get a divorce. I can't get child support. I mean,
okay. All right, ma'am. Let me do some more cases. We'll call it back up momentarily. Court does call the case of Arbor Woods versus Eshawn Hogan Mosley. They have not checked in. You may proceed.
Your Honor, I don't think we received verification that one was on the docket this morning, but nonetheless, my understanding is that we did file a motion on this case as well for issuance of
Yes.
the order of eviction. If Your Honor prefers, I can clarify with my client the exact amount and that nothing's been paid since. So if we could pass on that matter briefly as well.
Okay.
Let me double check with my
All right.
client. I don't want to say something on the record without being 100% sure of it.
I understand. Okay, I'll pass that matter.
Thank you.
Northville Crossing versus Jessica Bradshaw.
For the record, Your Honor, Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, the claim in this case, it looks like 1,841.01.
That's correct, Your Honor. As of last court date, Ms. Bradshaw was supposed to make a $300 good faith payment. I don't see that payment on the ledger, so I was going to inquire with Ms. Bradshaw if she had made that payment as ordered.
I have not. I have it. I have not been able to go up to the office yet. Unfortunately, I had another episode from the last court hearing. I have been off this week. I do have it. Monday night, the church did come. We had our meeting. They were waiting for my SER. I checked it this morning. They are going to pay $161.02. But they want me to pay the $1,643.99 first before they will do that. But as I said, the church said they will help. I just don't know exactly how much they're going to pay yet. He said he's going to call me at noon on my lunch.
So I'm sorry, who is paying the $161.02?
For the SER.
Oh, that's
through
SER.
DHS.
Okay.
Yep.
SER is going to pay $161.02, and you're waiting for verification of what St. Vincent de Paul is going to assist you with.
Correct. I will get a phone call here. He said he would call me between 12 and 1 today.
And I mean, are you in a position to pay the difference? I mean, assuming St. Vincent de Paul can't help you with anything, and maybe they can, I don't know. But if they're not, are you able to pay the difference between what's due and the SER payment?
Unfortunately, no.
So here's what I'm going to do because, ma'am, we're clicking into October. And
Understandable.
so, and you can let the folks from church know this. I'm going to find that there's no tribal issue after a hearing on this matter. I'm going to grant a judgment for possession, so at least we're locking in the number that needs to be paid. And is it 1841.01 inclusive of costs?
It is, Your Honor. Cost, I have the cost at $174, with rent retained being $1667.01.
So I'll grant that judgment for a total amount of $1,841.01 with the writ issue in 10 days. And what that does for you, ma'am, is this way October is not included in the amount to redeem the property.
Okay.
So some benefit. So if you can if the church will help you with that number rather than a number, you'll be in relatively good shape, and then you can try to work toward October. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Court calls the case of Northville Crossing versus Angela McNeilin.
Here, Your Honor.
Okay, there you are. All right. I'm sorry, and Eugene Randalls and Zachary McNeilin.
Yes.
At the last hearing, there was 2178.36. Defendant could pay $1,200. Did you pay that, ma'am?
I've paid a total of $1,570 or $1,525.
$1,525. So you paid.
Yes.
Let me verify that, Your Honor. The ledger that I have.
$80, I guess. I mean, and she agreed she can pay that if I can get the rest of it.
Ma'am, let me ask you this. When did you have your meeting with SOS?
I've actually had two of them in the last month and a half. I just talked to her last week on the phone. I mean, I'm trying my best. I just got
I
back to
know.
work.
All right. So, ma'am, here's the problem. The problem is, the funding's not there.
I understand that. I'm working on it. I just got a letter or thing earlier, but I didn't have time to check it from SER and what I need to give them to see how much they're going to pay. I mean, I am working on it my hardest. I mean, I've tried calling loan people, trying to get an FHA, against my house. Nobody will give me one because I don't have any credit.
Okay, ma'am. I just had to tell you, regrettably, the 3,000. Here's the reality of the circumstances regarding this. Even if you came up with that other balance, the 3,000's not there.
I know that it's going to be there as soon as the other amount. I get the other amount because she done told me she's going to pay it. And then I text her because Zoe up front told me I had till the end of this month to get all the money together. So when I talked to her, then I started calling people even more. I've been on my phone every free moment I've had. Like right now, I should be at work, but my face is swollen where I can't even hardly talk. It hurts to talk.
Your Honor, I'm unaware of any agreement to grant until the end of the month, but if Your Honor wants to pass on this matter briefly, I'll verify with my client if they're willing to give her until then to try and come up with the various funds to bring the account current. I don't have the authority to approve that without clarifying with them.
All right. Ms. Knowlton, let me pass it and I'll let counsel check on that, what you just said, and then I'll call your case back up.
Yeah, because I talked to Jacob this morning and I explained it to him. I mean, I'm trying. I'm disabled. I can't do too much.
Okay. Let her give a call.
Yeah, my husband was helping me with the rent until December. Then he just walked out and left us. I mean, what can I do? I can't get a divorce. I can't get child support. I mean,
Okay. All right, ma'am. Let me do some more cases. We'll call it back up momentarily. Court does call the case of Arbor Woods versus Eshawn Hogan Mosley. They have not checked in. You may proceed.
Your Honor, I don't think we received verification that that one was on the docket this morning, but nonetheless, my understanding is that we did file a motion on this case as well for issuance of the order of eviction.
For one more question, just so I'm sure, because thank you so much, Your Honor. I get it now.
All right, not a problem. All right, take
Okay.
care.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Your Honor, ready to go on the Knowlton matter.
You're ready to go on Knowlton. Which one was that?
I think it's.
Yes, got it. Arbor Woods versus Knowlton.
Again, for the record, Your Honor, Rachel Dornbush, Pellets Law on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, my client, I believe, is observing proceedings today, and they let me know that there was no agreement to the end of the month, and they are not willing to go to the end of the month, unfortunately.
All right, Ms. Knowlton, did you hear that? You're muted, ma'am.
well, Zoe lied to me then because that's exactly what she told me. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, because I called her on the phone because they had wrote me up about my porch, and I told her, well, I'm working on the lot rent still, and she said, well, I don't know if he's gonna let you go only until the end of the month, and then at that time there was not even a court hearing date, and then all of a sudden they get a packet of papers in saying they're trying to take me to court, and 2 days ago I get the court paper. I mean, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this today, so honestly, I just need another week or so. I mean,
Your Honor, I just would like to point out for the record that Ms. Knowlton was personally served and did not appear for court back in April, which is why a default judgment entered against her. And there has not been any payment on the account since May 31st. And so makes it very difficult for the landlord to be willing to try to work with somebody when it's been nearly 4 months since a payment was received.
I was at the doctor's the day of the last court hearing.
All right, ma'am, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grant the order, plaintiff's motion for issuance of the eviction. And for the order of eviction, excuse me. And then I'm going to, like I said, grant that, and I'm signing the writ of restitution.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you.
This ain't fair at all. I mean, I'm working my hardest to get the money, and I'm just getting kicked out every way.
All right, ma'am, I understand that, but I don't have another
No, you
option.
guys don't, because I've been contacting Zoe and Jacob every time I get an SCR and I try to get the money. And then the organizations that say they're going to help, then they fall on their end. I mean, I've been trying my hardest. All I need is another week. Because SCR, I
Ma'am.
got to see how much they want and what they need.
But ma'am,
So you're going to take my
Ms. Knowlton, I hear you. Okay, I understand everything that you're telling me. And I need you to understand this is not, from my standpoint, an easy thing for me to do. But I have to, I can't ask plaintiff to wait. And they know that if I thought that the funds were actually there, that there was some hope that they'd be there, I would tell them to wait. They would object to it, but I would do everything in my power so that you could stay. The problem here, ma'am, is, and I'm just going to be blunt about it. You get promised that there's going to be this 3,000 if you come up with whatever, and the money's not there. And so, shame on the people that ought to be putting the money there. It's just not there. And I can't ask plaintiff to wait.
So what do I got to do? Pack all my stuff up in 10 days and go where? I don't have any money right now.
Ma'am, I wish I could answer that. I don't.
I mean, I've been trying to do what I need to do to.
I don't have the answer to
That
that.
doesn't want to be found, obviously. He took off with a crack work, leaving me with no money, but very little bit to survive on. I mean, if you guys want, why don't you go arrest him? I mean, you might get somewhere. I can't. He won't give me a divorce, so I'm stuck. And then now you guys are telling me I got 10 days to pack all my stuff up from 15 years of living here and get out, which is not right.
Then just to clarify, Your Honor, just so Ms. Knowlton is aware, it's unfortunately not 10 days. It'll just be at the availability of the court officer, which may be much sooner than 10 days, Ms. Knowlton. I'm just want to make sure you
That is not
understand.
right. I mean, I just talked to Jacob this morning and I told him how I'm working on the money situation. I mean, the SCR just came back to me right before we got online. I wasn't going to exit out of this and go check it. This ain't even fair to me or my kids. I mean, we have lived here through all these park managers. After 15 years, because my husband decided a piece of shit, I got to move out of my house that is in my name and go live in the streets, I guess, with 3 kids. Because I don't have nowhere else to go.
Ms. Knowlton, I hear you. I understand what you're saying.
They'll be here by morning and probably tell me to get out then, and I don't have nowhere to go. No money to do nothing with. When I'm trying my hardest. My face is swollen up. I should have went to the hospital this morning, but no, I made sure I got on the Zoom. The last time I was supposed to be on, my iron was super low. The doctor immediately made me come in to where I had to go in and get on iron pills immediately because my iron was at 10. I mean, I have health issues where I can't work a whole 40-hour-a-week job. I have fibromyalgia. I have depression, anxiety. I mean, and now this just makes it worse. I mean, I am trying.
Ms. Knowlton, as I've indicated, I'm hearing everything you're saying. I'm hoping that those that are supposed to be supplying funding to help individuals like you are listening. Just listen to me. I hope they're listening to you too.
Because I got an
Because-
email from a lady that said that the funds are there. She has the 3K. All I have to do is come up with the difference. He's like this morning when I asked Jacob what's the difference, he wouldn't even tell me. They haven't served me those papers like you said every month. You know, you're supposed to get the paper telling you how much you owe. I don't ever get those. So then I have to call up and ask them how much I have to owe, and then people then send the papers to people. And it's like I'm doing more of the work than they are with trying to help me get out of this situation. I mean, the first month I was barely even, but a couple of days late, and they took me to court.
Miss Knowlton, I understand everything that you're telling me, but I'm not sure that it's really helpful for this particular situation at this point. There's nothing that I can do. I have to follow, ma'am,
And
I have to follow the law. I have to try to be fair to both sides. And so that's what I'm trying to do. There has been a significant period in time here where the plaintiff has waited for funds to come through. You've been waiting for somebody to assist you, and that's fallen through. And now we're just at this point. So, ma'am, all I can tell you is I signed the order. I wish you the best. All right. Thank you.
this ain't
Your Honor,
right.
ready on the Ishan, Hogan Mosley matter as well.
Court recalls the case of Arbor Woods versus Hogan Mosley.
For the record, Your Honor, Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law. Your Honor, I've confirmed that there have been no payments on the account at present. There's a balance due of $6,373.27. In furtherance of plaintiff's motion for issuance of the order of eviction, the motion being made since more than 56 days have passed since entry of the original judgment in this matter.
Motion is granted. I've signed the order. Writ will issue.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm still waiting to hear back on the Richter matter.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, people are lining up for my 10 o'clock. I'll take a brief recess. We'll start calling at 10 o'clock in a few moments, and we'll get you called in. So you got some time. All right.
thank you.
Thank you. Court stands in recess.